I've been on online dating sites for quite a few years now. I'm 57 years old and I'm single, and I've been single for a long time. I keep meeting military men online, but none of them seem to pan out. The first one I met asked me for an iTunes gift card. He said he was deployed to Afghanistan and his phone ran out of minutes. I went ahead and bought him the gift card and gave it to him. After that, he blocked me. I then met another man via Match who said he was an oil rig engineer, but he was contracted through the military to help out in Afghanistan. He then told me that he needed $1,000 to come home to visit me, and we had started an online relationship, and it lasted a few weeks. I told him I would pay for his leave to come and see me, and he gave me the name of a woman in Florida to send the money to, who he said was a military contact agent. I went ahead and wired the money, and then that man disappeared. I then met another man online who said he was also in the military. He was deployed to Iraq. He said he was scared and he wanted to come home, but the military charged $500 for the military flight leave and for him to exit his military contract with the Army. He asked me if I could send the money via Western Union to an agent, again, in the United States, who was in New York. I went ahead and told him I would because I wanted to meet him. He was very hot and sexy, and I thought we could have a great relationship together. I went ahead and sent the money, and then he asked for more money, stating that there was a holdup with his paperwork. He asked for an additional $200, and I sent it to him. He then stopped talking to me. I kept sending messages over and over again, but they went unread. I took a few months off of online dating, and then met someone through Facebook. He replied to my message that I put on a news channel about a story about some kittens. He said that my profile picture was beautiful and he found me very sexy. He said he was a general in the United States Army. I thought he was handsome and he was around my age. We started an online relationship and we moved to WhatsApp, where we would chat online on text, and then he voice called me. He would sing to me every night, singing me songs and telling me I was beautiful. He then asked me for some video chat, and I video chatted with him, but his side was very choppy and grainy, and he said he was having trouble with his video because he was deployed. We continued video chatting, and we had a very romantic time together, chatting on video, if you catch my drift. He then said he wanted to marry me, and I was very excited about this. I always wanted to marry a military man, and I'm just in love with every military man I see. I think they're all beautiful and handsome. He finally told me to ask if I'd make a video that was a little bit more X-rated, and I made him this video. I'd never done anything like this before, but I felt like I was in love with this man, and to me, he seemed like my husband. I went ahead and sent him the video, and I didn't hear from him for a while. I then received a message from him stating that if I didn't pay $5,000, he would distribute the video to everyone on my Facebook friends list. I was horrified. I have a lot of church friends and a lot of work friends on there, and I didn't know what to do. He told me I had to do it or he would start sending it. He then sent me links to all of my friends' Facebook pages. I thought about blocking him, but that wouldn't do any good to my friends because they'd still get the video. He told me I had 3 days to come up with the money, and once I did, I had to wire it to a bank account out of Atlanta, Georgia. I was sick and confused. I didn't know what to do. I finally went around to some anti-scam pages telling them what was happening. They told me to block him and have my friends block him. I thought it was the right thing to do. They told me not to pay him because if I paid him, they'd only ask for more money. I went ahead and told my friends that I was being stalked by a man online and to please block them, and most of my friends did. I ignored him and I ended up blocking him. About 2 weeks later, a couple of my friends got this video. I was horrified, but I knew that there was nothing I could do because even if I paid him the money, he would just ask for more and more. I stayed off online dating and I stayed off Facebook for a while. I actually ended up closing my Facebook after a few weeks, and then I opened a new one. As soon as I opened a new Facebook, I started getting messages from men wanting to get to know me. I realize I'm caught up in a nightmare of scammers keep finding me and keep wanting to get to know me. At this point, I really don't know what to do other than ignore them. I never did hear back from the man who blackmailed me, but I'm sure he's out there with more profiles and harassing more women. I've learned a very hard lesson, and it's been hard for me to accept that I don't and shouldn't send money or gift cards to people I don't know online, and I certainly should not make any videos of myself. I wanted to share my story because I hope it helps other women, to help them realize that these things happen, we make mistakes, but the best thing we can do is move on and try to keep our dignity. Don't do the same thing I did, because it ended up biting me in the end. Thank you for letting me share my encounter, and I hope I'm not embarrassed too much by this, but I felt the need to share. We'd like to thank this lady for sharing her story. Unfortunately, this happens quite often, where people get caught up with online romance scams and they become victims several times over. They think that each man they meet is going to be the one and not be a scammer, and unfortunately, at the end of the day, it always comes down to them asking for more and more money or gift cards. Remember, block the minute someone asks you for something. And above all, don't send videos of yourself in compromising positions. While you might seem like you're caught up in a romance, in reality you may be caught up with a scammer who's not only watching your video and sharing it with other scammers, but then they'll use it to blackmail you. If you'd like to share your story of an online scam encounter, you can find us via email, scammingscammers@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook with our new page, Scamming Scammers Cyber Education. You can message us there as well. Until next time, stay safe, and remember, never send money or gift cards.